If no questions, uh, let's do another one. Let's go to those papers. See, let's go to 2014. I guess. Okay, maybe to 2002. Okay, now let's do this one, 2005 from B. You guys don't need to do question E, but now you should be able to finish A to D. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes, give you guys 10 minutes. So let's try this one. Very important. Okay, this is a real question tested in the year of 2005. Okay, so first question, what is the curve number one card? What is the curve number one? What is the curve number one, guys? MC. That's right. What is the curve number two? ATC. What is the curve number three? ABC. Okay, that is the question A. Super easy. Number B, explain why curve number one does each of the following as output increases. Okay, why? So we mentioned curve number one. Curve number one is MC, right? Why your curve number one? Curve number one initially decrease. What is the reason? You need to explain. What is the reason? Nobody knows. Okay, so the based on law of decreasing marginal return. Okay, initially MP increases. Okay, due to through labor specialization. Specialization and MC has inverse relationship with MP. That's it. That is how you blame B number one. Okay, based on law of decreasing marginal return, initially MP increases. So what? MP increases. I should say increases through labor specializations and MC. And the MC has an inverse relationship with MP. Okay, so if MP increases initially, MC decreases. Okay, to explain the B number one, actually very similar, but Let's just change this one a little bit. And the B number 2 is based on law of dimension much later. Finally, C decreases. Okay, due to overuse fixed resources. Okay, you can find all these answers from notes number 2. Okay, you guys can actually find all these answers from your notes number 2. We just finished notes number 6. Any questions? Any questions? So notes number 6. Okay, then we do see what measure of cost is represented by the vertical distance between curve number 2 and curve number 3. What is the vertical distance between curve 2 and curve 3? What is the difference between ATC and AFC? ATC and AVC. So it's AFC, right? You just you do ATC minus AVC, so this one's AFC. And D explain why the vertical distance between curve 2 and curve 3 basically AFC decreases as output increases. So you need to explain like verbally, like why AFC always decrease. That's like a low response. Okay, so AFC, you should see AFC equals to total fixed cost divided by quantity. And the total fixed cost, TFC, is a fixed number. So with increase. So it's increase the quantity AFC view. Decrease. Okay, fixed number here actually means has no relationship with quantity produced. So it's called a fixed number. Okay, so it's called a fixed. Okay, so this is actually the yeah, this is all the question we don't need to do E because in notes number 7 we will mention about the in notes number 8 actually we will learn about question 8. Equal to minimum ATC, But unfortunately, in this graph model, we cannot add the minimum ATC. But in chapter 8, in later chapter, we will do this. Okay, we will add ATC into the graph. But for now, for today's lecture, you just remember if a P can be equal to minimum ATC, okay, then the market can be called the product efficiency. So naturally, then the question. So far we talk about like a kind of a different ways. Okay, to describe kind of the conditions. Okay, to build a efficient market, like we mentioned. Okay, if you can find the intersection of a supply curve and demand curve, so that means if you can equalize the supply and the demand, okay, which means if there is a no surplus and no shortage, then you can reach to a point. Okay, so-called market efficiency. Then you can build the efficient market. Right. So another way is if you can intersect MB and MC, if you can equalize MB and MC, graphically is this, if you can reach to this point, then you can build the efficient market. And we mentioned efficient market in an efficient market, the total surplus, the total social welfare is at the highest level. Or if you can see, yeah, if a P equal to MC still is at this point, we just have different ways. Okay, to explain, to describe, yeah, what kind of a market system is a so-called efficient market system. Then the next question is how we can reach to this like a kind of efficient point. So in notes number 4, we mentioned, okay, given no governmental intervention. Okay, if there's no governmental intervention in the market system, yeah, we learned this a very important idea from notes number 4. Okay, we want to build a free market economy. Free means no government intervention. In notes number 4, we did 3 examples, right? If a government, they do some kind of a governmental policies, if they do price fixing policy, if they do excess tax, if they do importing tariff, every time, yeah, different governmental policies can lead to debt loss. Okay, so if a debt loss happen in the market system, okay, that means the total social welfare, the total surplus has been reduced by the debt loss. Okay, so the total social surplus isn't at the maximum level. Okay, so how we can maximize the total social welfare? How we can reach to the market efficiency point, equilibrium point? Okay, we don't like any governmental policy. Okay, so we don't like without governmental interventions, we can realize market efficiency. This is what we learned from notes number 4. But from the today's lecture, from notes number 8, actually we will study another main idea is the market efficiency whether or not we can maximize the total surplus really depends on something called the market structure. Okay, really depends on, really has a relationship with another term, is a so-called different market structure. So what do I mean by market structure? So those are business, those are producers in different industries, they face so-called different business environment, business different type of different types of business environment. So what is a business environment? How you can tell different types of business environment? Super easy. In some kind of industry, you will face strong competition comes from your competitors. I'm just talking about for some kind of industries. For some industry can be called as a highly competitive industries. Okay, but for some other type of industry, so maybe the degree of competition in some other industries is lower. Okay, so here I mentioned maybe a new term for you guys, a new concept is called industry. So what do I mean by industry? So in the business world, okay, we put we just categorize, we just group similar business together to build an industry. Okay, let's have an example here. So I'm talking about what is industry, right? So industry. So let's have an example here. So let's name an industry. Let's have a real life example. Let's do Vancouver fast food industry. And my example is of Vancouver fast food industry. So what is a fast food industry? It's a industry is a group of several similar business. So if we do Vancouver fast food industry, guys, so you guys know what kind of a business, right? Which restaurant, so we can group them into this industry. So yeah. So if you have been to like A&W, Burger King, Subway, Boston Pizza, blah blah blah, you can name a lot of a fast food restaurant in Vancouver, fast food brands Triple O. Yeah, all these similar business because they produce similar products. Maybe it's a hamburger, maybe it's a pizza. Yeah, they produce a similar fast food. So we just group these several business into one industry. Okay, so different industry. Yeah, if we do like a car automobiles, so you guys know a lot of different car manufacturers. I mean, right? Toyota, Honda, BMW, Ford. Yeah, all these car companies. We group them together to build our so-called automobile manufacturing industry. Okay, so this is a definition of industry, which is a group of similar business. Why I see they are similar businesses because they produce similar products. So we just group a similar business into together, okay, to build something called industry. So different industry has a different business environment. So what are you doing by different business environment? I mean, some industries, the competition in some industries is more intensive. So all those different firms, the competing firms, they compete with each other so intensively. Okay, so the degree of a competition in some kind of industry, in some industry is very high. By contrast, in some other industries, maybe as a firm in some other industries, you face no competition. Maybe you're facing lower level competition for whatever the reason. Yeah, so this is so I mean how to distinguish, how to tell the difference between business environment. the criteria really is a level of competition. Okay, some industries, once again, can be cut as a higher, the degree of competition is very high. Okay, for some other industries, maybe the degree, the level of competition is very low. Okay, so this is a definition and real life examples of a market structure. So one more term we need to know is a market share. So what is a market share? So market share, how you guys calculate market share? Market share just equal to okay, business revenue. Okay, our revenue of a single firm. Okay, divided by this little bar here, so divided by the revenues of okay, the entire industry. Okay, if in last year the total business revenue earned by all the restaurant in Vancouver fast food industry is $100. Okay, and among this $100, $30 earned by a single firm, so is called Burger King. Okay, so you do 30 divided by, so you do 30 divided by $100. Okay, that means Burger King has a 30% market share. Okay, Burger King, this single firm can control 30% of the total market share in the Vancouver fast food industry. Okay, this is how you calculate your market share. One more term, okay, pricing power. So pricing power also can be called as a market power. So the question here is you need to consider is so based on the supply demand model, right? Based on the supply demand model, a very basic economic supply demand model. So price determined by like the equilibrium price determined by the supply curve and the demand curve. Yeah, this is what we learned from notes number 2. Like the most important function, the most important usage of the supply curve and demand curve is to find out where is how high is the equilibrium price. Okay, but before you study economics in real life, sometimes you may think the price is determined should be determined by the producer themselves. Right, like the Apple company now they are introducing the next generation of iPhone is called iPhone 15. So seems like in real life, it seems like the price of iPhone 15 should be determined by Apple company, should be determined by the producers themselves. But what we learned from economics is, equilibrium price is determined by the supply curve and the demand curve. So seems like there's a big conflict between real life and economic theory. Okay, so how to understand this question? So my question is the equilibrium price determined by economic theory, determined by supply curve and demand curve? Or the price of everything should be determined by the producer themselves? So which one? Okay, so the answer is okay. Supply curve and the demand curve can determine. So the price level here is called average industry average price level. Industry average price level. Okay. In firm theory, okay, in firm theory, in producer behavior, remember we use a market supply curve, market demand curve to determine so-called industry average price level. So let's have an example. My example was a Vancouver fast food industry, right? So in Vancouver, within Vancouver fast food industry, I can see this. So regardless which restaurant you choose, I can see this. Averagely speaking, if you want to buy a hamburger in Vancouver, averagely speaking, a hamburger in Vancouver costs you $10. $10 is called average industry price level and determined by supply curve and demand curve. You guys know what is called average price, average, roughly speaking, regardless of which restaurant you choose. Averagely speaking, right, you need to pay $10 to buy hamburger in Vancouver. Okay, but the average price equals to $10 does not mean so the firm level price. Okay, firm level price as a producer, go back to the question, as a producer, you can determine so-called firm level price. Firm level price, like your individual firm level price. We just add up all the firm level price of a different producers together, divided by the number of firms in this industry, okay, to get the industry average price level. So if average industry price level is $10, that does not mean the firm level price charged by different restaurant equal all is equal to $10, right? Some higher ended restaurant here, if you go to downtown Vancouver, if you go to really some so-called higher ended restaurant, maybe a hamburger can cost you $20 or $30. Okay, but if you just go to some normal place, okay, just like A&W, Burger King, maybe a hamburger just cost you $5, like lower than $10, lower than the average. Okay, so what is the pricing power? Then we can go back to notes number B. What is the pricing power? If your firm can set your firm level price higher than average market price level, if you have such ability, okay, in the field of economics, okay, you are said to has something called pricing power or market power. Okay, if you like those luxury brand, like those luxury brand name, okay, if your firm level price can be higher than the average market price level, okay, that means you have something called pricing power. If you can't, okay, if your firm level price is just equal to or below than the market average price level, that means you don't have any pricing power. Okay, let's go to the next page. Then generally speaking, how you can get some pricing power depends on a term we mentioned before, depends on the degree of competition. As a producer in any given industry, if you face a strong competition, comes from all your competing firms, all your competitors, if you face a strong competition, generally speaking, your market power is lower. Okay, lower. Okay, this downward arrow here means a lower. Okay, what do you mean by lowered? Yeah, low pricing power. I mean, it is so hard. It is more difficult. Okay, to charge a higher price, higher than the average market price level, higher than your competitors. By contrast, if the degree of competition in your industry is very low, if you just face weak competition, a little bit of competition from your competitors, yeah, generally speaking, it is more easier to get market power. It is more easier to set the firm level price higher than the average price level. Okay, so let's accept we mentioned Yeah, different market structure distinguished by different degree of competition. We mentioned the degree of competition so many times. So what are those factors? Okay, how we can measure? What kind of factors really can determine the degree of competition? What kind of a market structure can be called as a highly competitive industry? And what kind of industry can be called as in which the degree of competition is very low? So remember these two. Okay, remember these two. Number one, the number of firms. In any given industry, if there are so many large number of competing firms, okay, if you want to build your own business in Vancouver fast food industry, generally speaking, it is so hard. Why? Because you got so many competitors, right? You need to compete with, once again, Burger King, Triple, Starbucks, Tim Hortons, Boston Pizza, blah, 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 blah. You got so many competitors at KFC. So if a number of competitors is increasing, that means you have the degree of competition is increased. In some kind of industry, there is only the extreme cases is there is only one single firm can control 100% market share. Okay, one good example is a BC, maybe BC Hydro, right? BC Hydro is the only producer distributor of electricity in BC. You see, if you are BC Hydro, you got no competitors. You have no competing firms. So in that case, right, if a number of firms can be lowered, if the number of firms in any given industry is very low, because my extreme case is there's only one producer, only one firm, only one seller in an industry. So that means the degree of competition could be very low. Okay, so degree of competition has a relationship with the number of competing firms, okay, in that industry. So number two, okay, degree of competition has a relationship with the homogeneous of products. So what do you remember by homogeneous? Homogeneous, it just means a similarity. If you produce more similar products compared with your competitors, so the competition relationship between you and that producer, that competitor view can be more intensive. If you produce a similar, like a more identical products and services compared with another producer, competing firm, okay, that means the relationship, the competition between you and that firm can be more intensive. Okay, by contrast, if you produce what? If you produce a differentiated, similar products but differentiated products, okay, so the degree of competition could be lower. Okay, let's have an example here. So imagine you are, let's say you are Burger King. Okay, you are Burger King. You guys have been to Burger King, right? So let's compare. So you got two competitors. Okay, the first one is called A&W. Another one is called Subway. Okay, my question is, okay, so you have a competition relationship with both A&W and the Subway, right? You need to compete with these two firms. Because generally speaking, these three firms produce similar products, right? Fast food, just a fast food. But my question is, okay, the relationship, you just compare these two like a competing relationship. So let's name this one by A, let's name this one by B. Is A more intensive or B more intensive? A or B? As a Burger King, you produce more similar products compared with the A&W or Subway. The answer should be A, right? Because you are Burger King compared with the A&W, so you and A&W, you guys produce similar products called hamburger. Okay, but if you compare your products and Subway produce something called a sandwich. Okay, hamburger and sandwiches, they are similar, but they are like more differentiated. Right, the service is a product you got from Burger King and Subway, pretty similar, but very differentiated. So you produce some more similar products with A&W. So the competing relationship between you and A&W should be more intensive. Okay, than the competing relationship between Burger King and Subway. Okay, because you produce more similar products with A&W. Okay, but you produce differentiated products with Subway. Okay, so remember this, okay, level of competition, degree of competition really depends on these two factors. The first one is called the number of firms, has a positive relationship with the degree of competition. And another one is called homogeneous of products. Okay, so once again, if you produce more similar, more homogeneous products compared with your competitors, that means that the competition relationship between you and your competitor is more intensive. So next week, notes number 8, we will do something called a perfect competition. Perfect competition just is a business environment, so in which you are facing the highest level of a degree of competition. Okay, so in that case, so after you learn this two, okay, in that case, in that model, in that business environment, okay, two most important features is there are so many competing firms, and you produce a totally identical products with your competitors. Okay, but we will do this perfect competition in next week. Okay, so that's it. That's it for this week.